So Russell Westbrook now on Utah. Now we anticipate Westbrook's contract being bought out in Minnesota, which is kind of cool, right? If you think of where Minnesota's at, I don't think they plan to keep him out. Now here's the thing: once your contract is bought out, you cannot decide to go to another team until after the trade deadline. So the deadline is Thursday, tomorrow. So expect Russell Westbrook to start having conversations with teams 48 hours after the trade deadline. Once things are solidified, he can start having conversations. So expect Russell Westbrook to start having conversations because right now he's just kind of in limbo. Expect him to start having conversations relatively around Saturday morning with his agent. I'm sure they're having conversations now, but around Saturday morning, they'll start having conversations. We'll start really hearing some chatter about where Russell Westbrook is going. I think there's 3 landing spots where Westbrook can truly go to make an impact on a team that have the cap space to get him. So if the 3 teams are Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks, and the Phoenix Suns. Now the Phoenix Suns aren't going to necessarily, I think, going to get him. And I think the teams that are going to get him are going to be in playoff position. I think the Phoenix Suns are going to pull a trigger on him, even though I do feel that Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul could be a nice tandem. But they got to share the ball, so I don't think that's going to be. It's going to be that as effective. I know the Chris Paul was being in conversations about being moved, but if you look at the who is it? And I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers actually took a stab at Westbrook. But I think the 2 top front runners are the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat. They're both in playoff position. They both can use a solid point guard to handle the ball. And when you look at their cap space, who has a cap space? So right now the Milwaukee Bucks have enough cap space to sign him. So hold on, let's see. Enough cap space to sign him, and so does the Miami Heat. So I think that they pull the trigger. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami and Milwaukee take him. Maybe he takes a lower amount, and then this is an audition year and they extend it. But I think the mindset of Russell Westbrook is aligned with Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're gritty guys. They're tough guys. Like to get after it. They're scrappy. This team doesn't need to rely on 3-point shooting. They do a good job getting in the paint, and then adding a guy like Russell Westbrook who lives in the paint, who lives when dribble. Because now everyone's playing sag defense. You can get in the paint fairly easy now. Russell Westbrook and Giannis would just thrive. And then you have Middleton. You have what's the guy's name? Who's the guy from Milwaukee? You have Middleton and y'all know his name? Let me pull him up. Yeah, he has a brother in the league too. But Milwaukee has a solid squad, and it is I don't know why his name is slipping my mind. Drew Holiday, right? Drew Holiday's our number 2 scorer. I think that will help. I think that him and Russ would start. You're looking at starting 5 once Chris Middleton gets back. You'll have Russell Westbrook, Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Russell Westbrook. So you have Russell Westbrook, Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, and Giannis. That's a tough start. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. Okay, you have Drew Holiday, Russell Westbrook, Chris Middleton, right? Bobby Portis, and then Giannis Antetokounmpo, or Giannis and then Brook Lopez. That's a solid starting 5. I think that he comes in, even though Drew Holiday's playing solid basketball, another ball handler like that would make them truly effective. Chris Middleton, him being healthy and him healthy, coming back 110%. That's still kind of undecided yet. I think the last couple of games he's played fair, but you can't be consistent. You can't rely on him being consistent, only playing like 23 games this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Russell Westbrook plays for Milwaukee. Now, where does Miami sit? Right, because I said Miami is a potential landing spot. Their point guard is Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is I hate to say it, he's a shooting guard. He's not a point guard. But imagine him kind of rolling into that lineup with Jimmy Butler. You got Bam, you got Jimmy, you got Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's the only caveat, and the shooting guard, Victor Oladipo. But him on that team makes them have one of the best front courts in basketball. With the four guys who love playing defense, who are vets, and I can see them two being having landing spots. So I can see potential starting lineup where he's in there. Miami might ask him to come off the bench, but these are two potential landing spots I think he can land. I think the best fit for him is Milwaukee or a team that's ready to play and ready to win a championship now. Westbrook's not going to go to a project. He's not going to go to a team that is I don't know, like that's on the rise. He wants a team that's ready now. And I think there's a lot of teams that would take a chance with Westbrook and can see his value. It's just that Westbrook's so highly criticized because people who don't know basketball criticize him from the way he plays. He's more efficient than Ja Morant. He's more efficient than what's the guy? Sometimes LeBron James. It's just LeBron James is playing more minutes. And everything's designed for LeBron James. But I think Westbrook, there's some landing spots. Those are my two landing spots. I wouldn't be surprised to see him kind of hop on those teams.